Did this video find you in Nevada? What if I told you and Lebanon have a lot more in common than you might imagine? Welcome to part 28 of the United States might as well be 50 third world countries stacked up in a trench coat. When it comes to developing nations, Lebanon actually comes to mind for Nevada. When I look at how the state of Nevada is structured and look at how a country like Lebanon is structured, I feel like you guys are kind of twins. And unfortunately, you could be getting to similar outcomes in the same circumstances. Nevada is unique in the fact that 8 out of 10 residents live in just 2 cities. You've got the majority of them in Vegas. Literally 66% of people live in that area. That is 2.3 out of the 3.2 million people. And then there's a 500,000 people in Reno out of that 3.2 million people. The other 500,000 people, they just live in the rest of the state. Works the same for GDP. Vegas is 7 out of 10 of the dollars that come into that state. 180 billion out of 245 billion. Reno's a little bit under that at about 1 out of 5 of these dollars. 45 billion out of that 245 million coming in from Reno. The remainder is coming from the rest of the state. So we're truly in a situation where without these 2 cities, but specifically Vegas, there is no Nevada. Nevada is built like a row of dominoes stacked on top of a Jenga tower. Vegas is the dictionary wedged under the short leg of the table that Nevada gets to play that game on. Long story short, Vegas gets a code, Nevada goes to the ICU. And the same thing goes for Lebanon. If something happens in Beirut, the rest of the country is going into a free fall. And so to me, this is where the parallels really start to come in for Nevada and Lebanon, because we've seen this happen historically. Like I said at the top of the video, you guys are set up the same, but in a different circumstance. The circumstance I'm talking about for Lebanon is very simply their history. Pre-2000s, there was a civil war that wrecked Beirut and also wrecked the economy. The war with Israel in 2006 wrecked Beirut and also wrecked the economy. Separate from any kind of conflict, their port exploded due to a chemical warehouse accident. That was the majority of their import and export at that one port. And so these are all big catastrophes that happen around Beirut that then affect the entire country. And so when I look at the events that have most recently happened in Vegas, just over the past few years, while they have not been as extreme, you guys are literally one extreme situation away from looking a lot more similar. So while we could be looking at things like infant and maternal mortality rate, which you guys are neck and neck on, today we're going to use some different measures. We're also not going to look at the cost between the 2 places because I would never tell you to move somewhere impacted by an Israeli conflict. But if we look at the things that have devastated Vegas's economy, whether it was the pandemic, this administration adding immigration reforms that scared away both foreign workers and international tourists, or this administration's economic decisions that have increased the cost of everything via tariffs. All of these things are affecting Vegas back to back to back. It's almost a situation where one spark starts an explosion that knocks everything down. And unfortunately, with Vegas being 2/3 of the population and literally 7 out of 10 of the dollars, you guys are in a situation very similar to Lebanon's. Now, in the past, Nevada has benefited from the stability of the greater overall government. But even as that stability is now in question, things are more risky than ever. And this is where it really lines up with the outcomes of a place like Lebanon and their biggest city, which is Beirut. Drop your city or state in the comments if you want me to do yours next. We're going to cover all 50 states with this series. Shoot me a follow if you want to see when I do yours.